Your avoidant ex ended things, and now they want to be friends? Before you say yes, there's something you need to understand about what's actually happening here. Because here's the thing. This "let's be friends" offer feels kind, maybe even hopeful. Like maybe it means they still care. Maybe it's a step toward getting back together. But what if it's not any of that? What if this friendship offer is actually the thing that keeps you stuck the longest? By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why avoidants do this, what they're getting out of it, and most importantly, what you should do with that offer. There's also a part coming later that most people never talk about. What happens to you emotionally when you say yes? Stay with me, because that part alone might change everything. Let's start with the basics. When a relationship ends, most people need space. They need time to grieve, to process, to move on. But avoidants do something very different. They end the relationship and then circle back wanting to stay connected. Not romantically, just as friends. And if you've been with someone avoidant, you know this feeling. You're heartbroken. You still have feelings. And now they're texting you memes and asking how your dog is doing, like nothing happened. So why do they do this? Avoidant attachment, which comes from early experiences where emotional closeness felt unsafe or suffocating, creates a very specific pattern in adult relationships. Decades of research on attachment theory show that avoidants deeply fear intimacy. Not because they don't feel things, but because closeness triggers an internal alarm. It feels threatening to them at a subconscious level. Here's something most people don't realize. Avoidants feel most calm when they have distance. Space is where they breathe. A friendship where expectations are low and emotional demands are minimal is the perfect amount of distance for them to feel comfortable around you again. So they end things, create space, and then suddenly miss you. Not because they've changed, but because the threat of real intimacy is gone. That's where the friendship offer comes in. Friendship gives them your attention, your warmth, your history together, without the vulnerability a real relationship demands. You become a safe haven without any of the commitment. They get to feel close to you without actually being close to you. And because you still have feelings, you're giving them the emotional labor of a partner with none of the reciprocity. If this already clicked for you, drop a like. It helps me know I'm on the right track. Now here's where it gets more complicated, and this is the part almost nobody talks about. When you agree to this friendship, your nervous system doesn't just switch off the feelings. You can't tell your brain, "We're just friends now," and have it believe you. There's a biological reason for this. When you were together, your brain released oxytocin, the bonding hormone, every time you were close to them. Physical touch, deep conversations, comfortable silence. All of that created a neurological connection. And that connection doesn't disappear because a relationship title does. Every time you hang out as friends, those same pathways light up. Your brain still sees this person as someone it bonded with. You're not imagining the feelings. Your brain is literally replaying the attachment, and then something called intermittent reinforcement kicks in. This is a psychological mechanism where unpredictable rewards create stronger emotional bonds than consistent ones. It's the same reason slot machines are more addictive than games where you win every time. Behavioral psychology research has consistently shown that variable reward schedules produce the strongest and most persistent responses in humans. When you're just friends with your avoidant ex, They occasionally say something sweet. They check in when you least expect it. Each of those moments feels like hope, like proof that maybe things could change. But those moments are random. And that randomness is exactly what keeps you hooked. You start unconsciously working harder to recreate those moments, shrinking yourself to earn their warmth without even realizing it. This cycle can create what's known as a trauma bond, a strong emotional attachment formed through repeated patterns of distance and then closeness. It's not love the way it should feel. It's your nervous system responding to relief after tension. And it can be just as hard to walk away from as any addiction. So you stay, you wait, you hope, and months go by. Now pause for a second. How long have you already been in this waiting space? How much of your emotional energy has gone toward someone who hasn't fully chosen you? Drop it in the comments. I'm genuinely asking. Because so many people watching this are further into this cycle than they even realize. And putting it into words is often the first step to seeing it clearly. Let's call this what it is. You are not their friend. Friends don't lose sleep over each other. Friends don't overanalyze every text. Friends don't feel their heart rate spike when the other person mentions someone new they've been spending time with. What you are is someone who loves them, playing a role that was written for someone who doesn't. And the brutal truth is, this arrangement works really well for them and really badly for you. They get warmth, familiarity, and connection on their terms, with zero emotional risk. You get crumbs, and the ongoing hope that one day those crumbs turn into something real. Most avoidants aren't doing this with bad intentions. Their attachment wiring genuinely seeks closeness while avoiding vulnerability. They believe the friendship is real. But belief doesn't change the math here, and the math is not in your favor. When you stay in the orbit of someone who ended things before you've healed, you are not in a friendship. You're in a holding pattern. And there's something else worth saying that rarely gets talked about. Staying as friends robs you of the grief you actually need. That pain after a breakup exists for a reason. It's how your mind and body process a real loss. But when your avoidant ex stays in your life as a friend, the grief never fully completes. You're stuck somewhere between loss and hope. And that in-between space is one of the hardest places to heal from. So what do you actually do? Ask yourself 3 honest questions. Can you genuinely be around this person without wanting more? Does spending time with them help you heal, or does it keep you spinning? And if nothing ever changed romantically, would you still want them in your life? If your honest answer to any of those is no, that's your answer. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing your own peace. And the last thing I want to leave you with, if you set a boundary, if you say, I can't be friends right now, and they respond with guilt, anger, or sudden coldness, that reaction tells you everything. A person who genuinely cares about your well-being will understand that you need space to heal. They won't punish you for protecting yourself. That guilt, that coldness, that withdrawal, it's not a sign they love you too much to let you go. It's a sign they valued what you were giving them. And that is a very different thing. If this gave you clarity, send it to someone stuck in the same cycle. You never know who needed to hear this today. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.